Hello and welcome to my presentation of my assignment number 3. My project, I call it the World Searcher, which basically is like a search engine, but it's based on database results instead. So, I will start with presenting my application just to show you how it works. Then I will show the queries and show the code and see how it all works together and what my queries actually do and how they actually present things on the page. So this is the starting page, the country. Here you can search for countries in the world. In a full-scale application, this will contain all the countries in the world. My data now in the database doesn't, but it gets a lot still. So I can search for example, Sweden, just to get the result of Sweden. And then I can press this, and then I will get all the biggest cities in Sweden. And this then displays the name, the district. Lisboa is wrong, I don't know why. But all the other ones I think is correct, and then population. And I can open and close this as I want. I will search for example, Ara, because I know I get a couple of more results then. I get a couple of Arabic countries. And as you can see, I can open and close all of these to show the biggest cities in these countries. Then I have this that I can click, the show language. This then gives me the official language of this country as well. And I can also add this, show all details, which then gives me a lot of information about that country. As you can see, the cities are still the same, and there's not so much information about this because I had more information about the cities in the database, or the countries in the database. But here you can see the region, the surface area, the independence year, the population, life expectancy, GNP, and local name. So this is like the main page of my application, which is like the foundation of the whole application. And then I have this city searcher, which to start with shows the top 20 biggest cities in the world, or as of now, the top 20 biggest cities in my database. And for example, Mumbai is the biggest one, which has a lot of people living in it. And here, just as a country, I can search for all the cities. So I can search for like Stowe to maybe find Stockholm. It gives me a lot of result. Like everything that contains Stowe in it, like Preston, Stockport, Midstone, etc. So I will add Stock to get a couple of fewer. And here I can see I get Stockholm, which shows the population of Stockholm. It's in Sweden and it's Europe, and I get a couple of other results as well. And then if I would like click this, I will get these top 20 biggest cities again. And then I also have the language searcher, which for now, well, it's not actually a searcher, it just shows me currently the top 20 most spoken languages in a single country, which obviously, not so surprisingly, is Chinese in China, and Hindi in India. Yes. Alright, let's go to the source code. So, I have built my application using JavaScript and something called Express. Which basically lets me create a server on my local machine to then use the browser as a client, so I can communicate between the two. From this is the app which runs the server. I have created the connection to the database, which I do here. And then it's some routing, and then here I display what should happen when I click on the different tabs. And then we get to, firstly, the country. This is my endpoint country, which when the client asks for it, which it would do in this file here called client. So if user would submit the form is just now the search bar. He will add something, then he will click the button, then I will get that value and then post it to my server, who then contacts the database and then returns my results. And for that I'm using something called fetch, and then I'm using then and then to yeah, JSON, serialize my JSON and forth. So from here then, when the user is asking for information, when he's searching for something, then I will check a couple of different, like if the details were checked or if the language was checked, but the main query is here, which selects the country's name, the country's code, country's continent, and also the city, city name, city district, and city population. And it does that by doing an inner join on city, using my foreign key, which is code on country and country code on the city. And then I'm using the where country name like the search word to get the actual result. And as you can see, I have divided my my data into 3 different tables, which can be seen here. So here I have the world, and the tables in here are city, country, and country language, which I have described a little better in the documentation. So if we go back to here, then when this query is done, it will send the result back to the client, and then the client will dynamically update the page based on the result. And here it's a lot of like using the shadow DOM to insert documents and information. It doesn't have that much to do with the actual queries, so I'm just gonna quickly show how it looks. But it's basically checking if what has been clicked and what has not, and what the result that I'm getting, that I actually got, to display the correct information. And it's a lot of like creating different table heads and table rows and stuff, and then appending these to the page so that I can dynamically update the page as I want to. And as you can see, it's basically just a lot. And this is the same for all the different pages, with the city client doing the same. And well, the city client is actually like, when you first go to that page, it will display these top 20 biggest cities, and this it will do by just getting a fetch and a get instead of post, so that it in the start actually gets some information to display. So back to the queries. So yeah, as I said, this is the basic query. Then I have, if I click the details, I will get this, which basically just uses the country all to get all the details of the country. And then we have if the language, then I'm doing a double join, so that it joins on country code when it's the same as the country, the country code and the country code on the city, and then country language is using country code and country language country code. And then it only selects the official language, which is a true false statement, so it checks when it's official is true, then this language is the one that it will send back. And if both of them are selected up here, if both details and language, then it will do the same and double join to get the city and country. So if we then check on the cities, so this is what will happen when a user joins a page for the first time. He will basically get this query to run, and then use the group by population in a descending row, and limit it to 20, so I only get the actual results that I want. And for the city post, basically the same as for country. It's using the like and the search word. And then languages. Here I would have wanted it to actually calculate like all the amount of people that speaks a particular language, like all together, but I couldn't really get that to work. So yeah, this is how it looks now. It calculates based on the percentage and the population. It calculates how many people actually speaks the most popular language in that country, and then that is what I'm displaying. And yeah, I think that was everything. So thank you for listening, and yeah, bye.